Welcome back to the archive, Katie. It's good to see you again.
Yes, good to be back.
And it's good to be once again back in the Portsmouth Athenaeum. So, for those that are new, would you like to reintroduce yourself?
Sure. So my name is Katy Sternberger, and I'm currently the archivist here at the Portsmouth Athenaeum. I earned my master's degree in archives management from Simmons University, and I'm also a certified archivist through the Academy of Certified Archivists. So I've been working here at the Athenaeum for the last 5 years, and it's a pleasure to be part of this historic building in the heart of Market Square in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. So the Athenaeum was incorporated in 1817, and it's been in this building since 1823. Before that, this was the New Hampshire Fire and Marine Insurance Company, but our beautiful reading room downstairs has always served as a library. The members of the insurance company would use the reading room to check the newspapers and see how their ships were doing as they sailed around the globe. And today we preserve and share our local history. The word Athenaeum is derived from Athena, the Greek goddess of wisdom, so we welcome everyone who is interested in seeking knowledge.
Lovely. So, when this comes out, this is going to be March, about middle of March, and March is Women's History Month. Is there a particular woman that inspires you?
Yeah, so in honor of Women's History Month, one local woman who inspires me is Doris Moore. She was apparently known for asking questions in history class, and this talent of hers was recognized in the 9th grade class will, which was published in the Portsmouth Herald when she graduated from Portsmouth Junior High School in 1934, and she would go on to break barriers in Black history.
Could you tell us a little more about her?
Yeah, so Doris Moore was born on March 12, 1916, so it's very fitting that we celebrate her during Women's History Month. Moore lived much of her life at 41 Pickering Street in the south end of Portsmouth, and she attended Haven School, which served the children of the Puddle Dock area, and she graduated from 6th grade in 1929. Unknown circumstances didn't allow her to begin 7th grade until 1931, but she was among the first students to attend the newly built junior high school. And she then graduated from Portsmouth High School in 1937. So Doris Moore was the daughter of James H. Moore, who was described as a local window washer. And her mother was Sarah Annie Fields Moore. Both were originally from North Carolina. The couple lived together in Portsmouth for more than 50 years and raised their 3 children here. Doris was the youngest, and she had a brother, James Robert, and a sister, Sarah, who married Henry Pettiford. The family settled here at 41 Pickering Street, which is now number 39, and this is in the South End when Doris's father purchased the property in 1926. They had previously rented at 83 Washington Street nearby. This area was part of the Puddle Dock neighborhood, which was named for the waterway that used to flow here from the Piscataqua River. In the 20th century, this was a working class neighborhood where many immigrant families lived. And the children from the neighborhood, such as Doris Moore, attended school at Haven School. For many years, the Moores attended the People's Baptist Church that's over on Pearl Street, which is where Martin Luther King Jr. preached on October 26, 1952, when he was a doctoral student. The 3 Moore children all spoke and sang regularly in the church, and they were active in the Baptist Young People's Union as well. So this is where Doris Moore grew up, and it's where she kept returning to over the course of her life. After going to college, after serving in World War II, and after starting her career, she came back to Puddle Dock. She helped care for her parents in the final years of their lives before they passed away within 8 days of each other in May 1958. Moore later purchased 44 Pickering Street, the house next door to her childhood home, while she was a social worker in Manchester. It was not expected in the 1930s that women should attend college, much less black women. But Moore preferred to get her education and work in order to support herself. And she earned a bachelor's degree from Morris Brown College in Atlanta, Georgia in 1942. By then, though, World War II was well underway, with the United States having recently joined the war. So after graduation, Moore came home to Portsmouth and worked as she was a machine operator at the Morley Company on Islington Street. And the Morley Company was known for manufacturing buttons, but they shifted direction during World War II to help with the war effort by producing gas masks.
The pictures we have right in front of you right now, is this from that time period when she was involved with the war effort?
Yeah, so in April 1943, Moore registered with the Women's Auxiliary Army Corps, which became known as the Women's Army Corps a few months after Moore's enlistment. And with the name change, women were actually granted rank and privileges in the United States Army. And it's interesting to note that the insignia for the WAC is the Greek goddess Athena, that's very appropriate here at the Athenaeum. So Moore served in the 6,888th Central Postal Directory Battalion, also known as the 6888. They were the only predominantly black WAC unit deployed overseas during World War II. Recent research has confirmed that there were also several women of Caribbean and Mexican descent that were part of the battalion. And the battalion consisted of more than 800 women. They traveled to Birmingham, England in February of 1945, and then Rouen and Paris, France, to sort and deliver massive amounts of mail. Now, the mail was not at all trivial from the perspective of the service members. They actually relied on it. And this is why the 6888 adopted the motto, "No mail, low morale." There was a huge backlog in Birmingham that was estimated to take 6 months to process. The 6888 cleared it in 3 months. The women worked 8-hour shifts, 7 days a week, and processed millions of pieces of mail. So with the mail cleared in Birmingham, the battalion moved to Rouen in June 1945, just after victory in Europe was declared. The French people hailed them for their efforts, having successfully processed all of that mail in England. So there was still mail to deliver, even though the war in Europe was over, and the women continued to follow the process that they had established while working in England. And with the job done in Rouen, they went to Paris and even got to enjoy some sightseeing while they were there, as indicated by some of these photos that and memorabilia that Doris Moore was able to bring back with her. And while in France in 1945, Doris Moore was promoted to private first class. Yeah, so Moore created a scrapbook documenting her time overseas, and it includes photographs, postcards, and ephemera, including her ration card and a pass allowing her to travel around the city of Rouen when she wasn't on duty. And in particular, I love this photograph from Doris Moore's scrapbook, which shows the 6888 standing at attention with the color guard presenting the American flag. This photo was taken in Birmingham, England in February 1945, so this was right after their deployment. The battalion underwent a military review before Lieutenant General John C. H. Lee shortly after their arrival in England. The women were under the command of Major Charity Adams, who went on to become a lieutenant colonel. This was another unique photo. It shows the women of the 6888 marching past the equestrian statue of Napoleon Bonaparte in Rouen, France in June 1945. She wrote on the back of the photo, "My company marching in Rouen, France in honor of General de Gaulle." And we are also extremely grateful to have received this lovely portrait of Doris Moore in her uniform.
All right. What happens with her after the war?
So upon returning from war, Moore earned a master's degree in social work from Atlanta University in 1951. At her first job in Louisville, Kentucky, she accepted both black and white clients. After establishing her career, she returned to New Hampshire to help care for her mother, and then she joined the staff at the Children's Aid Society in Manchester in 1959, becoming the first black social worker in the state of New Hampshire. A newspaper clipping from April 23, 1959, issue of the Portsmouth Herald noted that Miss Moore will do social casework and specialize in locating and studying foster homes needed for children in the care of the society. She worked at the agency for 22 years. And Moore passed away in Portsmouth on June 26, 1993, at the age of 77. But her legacy continues as the women of the 6888 received the Congressional Gold Medal in February 2022. And that was a long-awaited recognition of their service. So this is women's history, it's black history, it's local history. I think Doris Moore's story is remarkable.
And to help not just keep her memory alive, but to help keep the amazing history that we have here alive, how can people help contribute to the Athenaeum?
Yeah, so the Athenaeum is supported by people just like you. If you'd like to help make sure our local history is preserved for future generations, we welcome you to make a donation or get involved. Information is available on our website at portsmouthathenaeum.org. Or simply stop by to see our beautiful historic building next time you're in downtown Portsmouth.
And do you have a message for future generations?
Well, first I would like to recognize the Athenaeum's donors, without whom we wouldn't be able to make these amazing photographs available for research use. These photos document such an important time in women's history. And we are starting to see a growing interest in archival resources from the mid-20th century. So even though it might seem like it was just yesterday, your parents' or your grandparents' records could be important for future generations. So archivists can help you determine what records are of enduring value. Also, I would like to encourage you to be like Doris Moore and ask questions in history class. Fortunately, with this scrapbook, she saved a piece of her story so that we can now see and very gently touch this local history.